What's going on, everyone? Happy Tuesday. Hopefully everyone is doing well, staying safe, healthy. If you had to take a COVID test, flu test, or a test for some other virus, I hope you have tested negative. If you did test positive for any of the viruses, I hope you have a full and speedy recovery with no long-term issues and no long COVID issues. It is time now for the Tuesday edition of the Virus Update for Tuesday, March 11th, 2025. If you are new to my channel, welcome to my channel. This is where I do the daily virus update on all those viruses that can make us sick, and yes, animals sick as well. There's a lot of viruses out there. It's been a long winter. We're coming near the end of winter, but some other places around the world are about to enter fall and winter as well. Yeah, what does that mean? Well, they're about to see their rise in viruses too. And I really do just give you all the latest news and data, not just for the United States, sometimes other countries around the world. Today will mainly be the United States and maybe a few things from Canada. But hey, want to stay informed with what's going on? Just subscribe down below. Give this video a thumbs up. Hit that notification bell. Share this video with anyone you know. And of course, leave your comments down below. The more people that hit that like button, the more YouTube's going to help me in the algorithm. And of course, hey, you know someone that's looking for news about just what's going on with these viruses? Share this with them. Data Report's the name of my channel. DataReport.info is my website. Alrighty, we do have several developing news stories, and I say developing because we're updating a few news stories that have been pretty much ongoing for some time, and yeah, measles is a big one. And then we are going to take a look at some data, and we'll take a look at maybe some wastewater today as well. I'm going to try and fit in something from the Pacific Northwest. It's probably going to be in the form of wastewater because that's all that I could find for today out there. All right, in Texas, this is a big update. Texas measles cases grow to 223, mostly among children and teens. Yes, this outbreak continues to get worse. 80 unvaccinated cases, 138 of them are unknown status. And right about now, someone's getting ready to type down below, oh, the unknown ones are probably all illegal immigrants. We don't know that. We don't know if they are or not. We just know that their status of vaccination is currently unknown. And we do know that 29 people have been hospitalized, and there have been 2 deaths so far. I believe that's 1 in New Mexico and 1 in Texas. I have not heard any update about more cases in New Mexico as of yet. However, in connection to what's going on in Texas, we do now have this. Oklahoma reports its first 2 measles cases, but it says, quote, no risk to public. Let me explain what that means. So apparently, their 2 cases are linked to what happened in Texas. They went somewhere in Texas, and the 2 people that are infected are now home and isolated. That's why they're saying no risk to the public, but as we know, we have to keep watching this because you just don't know. And we could see more cases pop up being in connection to what is going on in Texas, not just Oklahoma. We could see connections pop up anywhere in the country because that is what's happening at this time. But again, they report that the individuals took precautions by immediately excluding themselves from public settings and staying home throughout their contagious period. So I don't know if they're still contagious or not, but it says throughout their contagious period. Then we move on to this, and this is rather concerning. Up in Canada, measles exposure at Montreal Canadiens game at Bell Center. Yeah, wait till you hear this. Yeah, they were exposing people during the hockey game. So someone was infectious. I don't know if they knew that they were infectious at the time, but yeah, they went to a hockey game, and well, you know how the stands are. Sometimes they're packed tight together. You know, the seats are pretty well close together. So yes, there definitely could be potentially more cases from this. It says Montreal public health officials say someone contagious with the measles virus who was not vaccinated attended an NHL game, National Hockey League, at the Bell Center on March 3rd between Canadiens and the Buffalo Sabres. Yeah, this is not good whatsoever. Hopefully we don't see more cases come out from this. Also in Canada, we do have this. Chief Public Health Officer of Canada on increase in measles cases. Now, we're not going to read this whole thing, but we did learn something from this, something rather important. As of March 6, 2025, Canada has recorded 227 measles cases this year, many requiring hospitalization. The majority of cases are unvaccinated or under-vaccinated children who have been exposed in their communities, such as in social events, daycare, schools, and healthcare settings. Measles is very contagious and can cause serious illness with complications, including pneumonia, deafness, brain inflammation, and in severe cases, death. Yet again, we're seeing another virus that's listed, the spread being daycares, schools, and healthcare settings. 3 places we need to do better all around the world to keep kids and other people safe. Schools should not be a risky place to go to. A kid should be able to go to a school and get an education without being infected with a virus. It is totally ridiculous. And before someone says, well, it's a part of growing up. It's what happens. Okay, we can do better and try and prevent that from happening. We can clean the air, and a lot of people don't like hearing the word mask. Masking does work as well, but you know what? Cleaning the air is something that's very important because there's so many places that don't do it. Put an air purifier in a school setting, let it go for a month, and then take a look at the filter. It wouldn't be white anymore. It would be very dirty, brown, maybe black. It wouldn't be pleasant. Yeah, that's the air your child has to breathe in. All right, moving on. 2 cats test positive for avian flu in Riley County, and this is in Kansas. This is not a good thing whatsoever, and it just adds to the growing number of cats that we've been seeing all around the country testing positive for avian flu H5N1. All right, Washington sees more than 250 flu-related deaths, including 2 King County children. I actually forgot that I had this story in here. So here's something for the Pacific Northwest. We're still going to do some wastewater there. Washington is in a very high category flu for now. There have been hundreds of deaths related to the illness, including kids right there in King County. Yeah, not good whatsoever. We've seen kids dying of flu in several states this year. Has not been a good year for flu. Moving on to this, speaking of flu. Remember the other day we mentioned that Gladys Knight had to suddenly cancel her show right before it was about to start? Turns out we found out what it is. Gladys Knight is dealing with flu. It's her and I guess someone else who works with her. Yes, they have flu. And she flat out says, hi, my loves. I have that flu that is going around, and I am already feeling better. I'll see everyone real soon and appreciate the good wishes. These artists always try to put positive vibes. I hope that really is the case, and someone's probably saying, why so negative? She's saying she's feeling better. Yes, we would like to believe that, but oftentimes we end up finding out something different down the line. I hope she is feeling better. That would be fantastic news. All right. In Kentucky, more flu news. 2 more children died from flu, including child from Louisville, Kentucky. And a total of 3 children in Kentucky have now died from the flu this year, including, like I said, one from Louisville, Kentucky. Health officials announced this on Monday that it was 2. One of the children was from Barren River District, and the other from Jefferson County. Officials did not say where the first child who died was from. So it is unclear also if the 2 latest children were vaccinated. That would be very important to find out. I would like to think they're unvaccinated, but who knows? Stranger things have happened this year. All right, one more thing for flu. We're going back to bird flu again. Ohio Department of Agriculture, bird flu confirmed in Portage, I hope I'm saying that correctly, Portage County backyard flock. So yes, yet again, another flock in Ohio. And yeah, it's something that we're continuing to see increase across the country. And I want to add something about bird flu, just real quick. This will not take long. When I was riding around doing deliveries today, I happened to notice something. Something that was kind of concerning to me. Maybe you won't find it concerning. Maybe you'll be like, whoa, people shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, I happened to see someone sitting on a picnic bench, regular. There's the table, bench on one side, bench on the other side. And they were sitting there. I don't know that they were feeding geese, but they were like literally right next to the geese, and it looked like it was a mother with a child, and the child looked like it was trying to play with the geese. Now's not the time to be doing that. Not too many years ago, yes, I would go and feed the geese. I would go see the geese in the park. Okay, fine. And then, now is not the time to do that. You don't know if that duck, geese, you don't know if the birds could be infected. you are putting yourself at risk. You're also putting your child at risk. Please, now's not the time. Maybe you have a kid at home and they see geese, they see other birds. Try and keep your distance from the birds right now because it could potentially be dangerous. All right, moving on now to this. No, not whatever just popped up. Study. Long COVID appeared to triple cognitive impairment risk. Yeah, COVID's impact on the brain is real, my friends. I mean, look at me. I still have the headache issue. That's COVID impacting my brain. And a lot of people are having issues with forgetfulness, a lot of different things that COVID can do in the brain. A new study links long COVID to a threefold increase in cognitive difficulties, highlighting the need for more research on the disease's impact on brain health. And we do know there's a lot of studies that say this, that had early stage Alzheimer's prior to a case of COVID, after a case that gets advanced, which is very sad. And there have been several people who work with people who deal with Alzheimer's, and they have said that they have seen a significant decline after a case of COVID. Really sad. Already, we have to remember something. Yes, we have to remember that on March 11th, 2020, there were several things that happened. The NBA paused because, hey, we were at the start of the pandemic. We found out that Tom Hanks was diagnosed with COVID. Trump did an address that day, and there's a bunch of other things that happened that day. But yes, actor Tom Hanks and his wife Rita Wilson on this day, back on 2011, March 11th, 2020, had tested positive for the virus. And I do believe I added that case to the archives on my site, datareport.info. You can go see his case there. You can see a lot of other cases. And I'm going to eventually be adding more. Some recent ones, some past ones. Yes, there's going to be a lot that I'll be adding. Since 2020, more than 7 million COVID-19 deaths have been reported globally, and we do know that is a significant undercount. And also on this date, very important, on March 11th, 2020, the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a worldwide pandemic. All right, got to remind you something. COVID causes long COVID. International Long COVID Awareness Day is on March 15th, 2025. That is this weekend. That's this Saturday. That is a very important day to many people. It's an important day to me. We'll probably do something long COVID related, whether it be showing studies of what COVID can do, something of that matter. I'm sure there'll be new stories that come out for it. All right, taking a look at what is going on in Canada for the viruses, and there has been a little bit of a change, as you saw when I refreshed this. COVID-19 viral level activity level is moderate. Flu A is moderate. Flu B, it's gone up. It's now listed at high up in Canada. RSV at this time is listed in moderate. So that's not a good thing. Taking a look at what's going on with air qualities. And we do see some yellow, which means slightly bad air qualities along the Great Lakes and across the Ohio Valley. That does stem into Tennessee and Georgia, some of the Gulf Coast, some of eastern Pennsylvania, and in the Northwest. And yeah, Northwest has a few problems as well, as does California. So we have to keep our eyes on that. In addition to air quality today, yes, I remember to do it. Here we go. Pollen levels, and I gotta say something. Pollen levels, regardless of what the map shows here, my itchy eye issue is starting to show up. So that means, yeah, I gotta get some fresh supply of Allegra in. I need to order more Allegra. It's time. Or at least that's the one I take. You do whatever works for you. My doctor told me to use Allegra in the past years, and that does work when I take it. And yep, I'm going back on it. It's also a good time if you're an allergy sufferer. Keep those windows closed and put the air purifiers on. You should have them on anyhow. You should always be cleaning your air, but they are good. HEPA air purifiers are good for allergy season. And take a look at this. Yes, red is showing up. It's high in the south. Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma is red at this time. Medium all the way up to Washington, D.C. already. And we do see yellow, even some medium up into Connecticut. Green in the Northeast still. It's still winter there. You still got snow on the ground in Vermont. Taking a look at what's going on in Idaho, Oregon, and Washington. We're seeing medium pollen levels showing up here on this map. Is that an accurate statement to say? If you live in the Northwest, let me know. Is your allergies starting to bother you? It just seems kind of odd considering the fact that the mountains probably still have snow. Matter of fact, I'm sure they still have snow. California, Phoenix, Arizona, Nevada. Yep, red there. Look at that. Colorado's dealing with some red. So, yes, pollen levels, they are starting to become a thing. And, yep, we're bringing this back. We're going to be taking a look at this probably every update going forward for the next several months. Taking a look at what's going on in Pinellas County, Florida. We do see a few sick person calls at this time and a few other things listed. Taking a look at what happened in Philadelphia on Monday. I actually have to set this to Monday. Let's see if they even updated for Monday. They did. And, no, they did not. That still says Sunday. Let's refresh this. Nope. No update from Philadelphia for Monday. It just says Sunday, March 9th still. But we can do a live look and see what's going on in Montgomery County, which is just outside of Philadelphia. And take a look at this. Respiratory emergency, not once, not twice, 3 times being shown at the moment. And we also see stroke is showing up as well. That's not a good thing. Taking a look at what's going on in Chester County, Pennsylvania, if we can. Sometimes we have to hit refresh twice. And we can see here, sick person is showing up a couple times, seizures, and yes, a few other calls at this time. Alrighty, let's take a look at what's going on with the hospitals in Pennsylvania. And we will see that, yes, there are still some hospitals dealing with problems. We can see there's a few in the Lehigh Valley. There's one up here. Actually, 3 of them that's going on just to the northwest of there. And then another one down near Hazleton. Yeah, there's some problems going on here. Pottsville and Hazleton itself is fine, but just to the southeast of there, that's a pretty bad cluster of hospitals dealing with problems. St. Luke's, Monroe, up in the Poconos, is still having problems. And I do believe when we take a look at wastewater in Pennsylvania, we're going to see there's some problems going on there. York is dealing with multiple issues here. WellSpan York, behavioral health diversion and emergency department overcrowding. Taking a look at what's going on in New Jersey, and whoa, look at this. Penn Medicine, Princeton Medical Center is full, total, divert, I'm assuming that means. Patient volume at Cooper, patient volume at Jefferson Cherry Hill, Capitol Health. Yeah, you're seeing a lot of problems here. And look at this one. Here's one that says helipad is currently down. Don't usually see that pop up there. And we're not seeing any psychiatric issues today, are we? No. So that's good to report. But there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hospitals dealing with problems there. All right, taking a look at what is going on with wastewater in Pennsylvania. And we can see here, COVID is low. I'm going to move myself to the center here so you can see this. COVID is low, and take a look at that. It is still dropping at this time, which is a very good thing. Taking a look at what's going on with that in the Poconos, and I'm going to move myself to the center one more time. I want you to see this. See, there is a little bit of a rise there for COVID. That is not a good thing. The rest of the state's not doing bad. There are still some high areas, but overall, not terribly concerning. LP.8.1 is the leading variant. When it comes to what's going on with influenza, you can't see it here, but influenza is still listed high, and it's actually rising on the chart. I don't want to make you dizzy, so we're not going to go back to the center again. But RSV, there's not a lot of wastewater sites for RSV, but I do kind of want you to take note that RSV at this time is slightly on the increase. And I honestly don't know why it's going back up again, but yeah, for the past 3 weeks, it has gone upward once again. So that's something we will have to keep an eye on, at least the past 2, we'll say 2 weeks. Taking a look at this activity for Pennsylvania through 8-25, 2025, influenza trends are still dropping at this time. There have been 197,574 laboratory confirmed cases, 641 influenza-related deaths, and RSV. It says here it's decreasing, but again, that decrease is for the number of cases. What we're seeing with wastewater has gone up a little bit, but again, it's very important that I note we don't have on that dashboard. Let's go back to it just for a second. You can see here, there's a lot of places that are not included. See some places missing: Lehigh Valley, Northeast Pennsylvania, Northern Pennsylvania, Central Pennsylvania. You get the point here. There's not enough coverage of wastewater to really see what's going on. So though it says moderate here, yeah, it's moderate among the sites that are being reported on. All right, moving on from Pennsylvania. The COVID positivity level at Walgreens this week is 13.2%. Now we're going to take a look at something we did not look at yesterday, and that is the flu positivity rate. Flu A and B, positivity trend is 3.96%. There were 5,723 flu tests in the past week. And you know what? We can look at data for the Northwest here. The positivity rate in Washington for flu is 6.72%. 67 tests were done there. 13 total tests in Idaho with a positivity rate of 3.85%. In California, the positivity rate is 4.27%. I'm seeing a really high positivity rate in Rhode Island. Why? Yeah, 10% positivity rate, 25 total tests. In Louisiana, the positivity rate at this time is 4.88%. Kentucky, the positivity rate is 6.6%, 6.06%. Michigan, 5.73%. Wisconsin, 6.07%. Arizona, 3.54%. Texas, 2.91%. Nebraska, 6.25%. And Colorado is at 2.94%. And since North Carolina has been really bad for flu, what's going on there? 4.98%, and it is rising slightly there with 321 tests conducted. In New York State, 612 new cases were reported at this time for COVID. And in New York State, when it comes to hospitalizations, 742 people in the hospital and 75 people in the ICU at this time. All right, let's take a look at those emergency department visits diagnosed for COVID, and I think we should go state by state. Across the United States, we can see here it's dropping still. It's still declining. That is a very good thing. Let's see what's happening in other states. But before we do that, we have to pause. Why? It's time for your hydration break. Let's have a drink of water, shall we? Alrighty, don't you feel refreshed after having a sip of water or whatever it is you're drinking at this time? I certainly feel refreshed. Alright, again, the national level is dropping. Alabama at this time is dropping when it comes to emergency department visits. Alaska, you're rising slightly for people diagnosed with COVID. Arizona is dropping. Arkansas is rising slightly. California, that's a big state, that's dropping. Colorado is dropping at this time. Connecticut is still dropping. That drop has slowed a little bit. Delaware has slowed a little bit. District of Columbia, Washington, D.C. starting to drop again. Florida, another big state that's dropping. It's the big states that's causing overall the drop. These little rises in the smaller states, that's not really doing much of anything. Georgia is still dropping at this time. Guam, looks like you're going up a little bit. Hawaii was going up a little bit. Maybe now that's leveling off. Idaho is dropping. Illinois is dropping but slowing. We'd like to see that drop more. Indiana is still dropping. Iowa is still dropping. Kansas, I think that's still dropping. Kentucky is still dropping. Looks like there's a little bit of a rise in Louisiana. Maine is still dropping. Maryland leveled off a little bit. Massachusetts is still dropping. Michigan is dropping, and it's actually picking up the pace. That's good to see. Mississippi has gone up a little bit. Montana is going up a little bit. Nebraska is flat. Nevada, yeah, it looks like you're just bouncing off the bottom there. New Hampshire is still dropping. That drop has slowed, though. New Jersey, ever so slight increase. New Mexico is still dropping. New York is still dropping. Actually, New Mexico has slowed off a little bit. North Carolina, not really dropping much. North Dakota is still dropping. Ohio is still dropping. Oregon is still dropping. Pennsylvania is dropping. Rhode Island was dropping. I hope that drop continues. We'll have to keep an eye on that. South Carolina, suddenly there's a U-turn and you're going back up again? Yeah, that's not good. South Dakota is still dropping. Tennessee is dropping. Texas, you're not dropping. If anything, you're flat, maybe ever so slightly rising. Utah is still dropping. Vermont was dropping, then that hit the brakes a little bit. Virginia, that has leveled off a little bit. Washington still dropping. West Virginia is still dropping. And Wisconsin is still dropping. Alrighty, moving on now. Let's take a look at some wastewater data, shall we? Let's go to influenza data for Washington State and see what's going on there. And we can see in Washington, wow, influenza in Washington State is still listed at very high at this time. That's not so good whatsoever. Let's also take a look at what's going on in Oregon while we're at it. And we can see Oregon is still listed at high when it comes to influenza. And how about Idaho? Can we even do Idaho? They don't have a lot of wastewater sites. Okay, they have a few of them actually now. And influenza is listed at moderate there. Let's take a look at the same trends for what's going on when it comes to COVID. And first off, taking a look at what's going on with Washington. And we can see for Washington at this time, you're listed at low for COVID. And then when we go to Oregon, Oregon is listed at low. And when we go to Idaho, when it comes to COVID, let's see what's going on there. You're listed at low at this time. We'll take a look at some more of these states over the next coming days. We'll maybe even do some wastewater scan data tomorrow. The reason we didn't do wastewater scan today is because when I looked at it this afternoon, a lot of those wonky movements, and I really don't like showing that site when it's full of wonky movements because that doesn't really help you too much. That just leaves you kind of confused, right? Alrighty, folks, that does it for today's virus update, which I must say was a very long virus update. If you enjoyed this update, give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, hit that notification bell, share this video with anyone you know, and of course, leave your comments down below. I will see you all again next time. Until I see you again next time, stay safe, everyone, and have a fantastic Tuesday afternoon. Thanks for watching.